Hi. This is Father Rayappa from Ekattupudi, Vellore, India. I'm going to talk about water. Not only me, Pope Francis. In Laudato Si, the encyclical on ecology and environment, he talks about from 27 to 31 paragraphs. 5 paragraphs. It's amazing. Pope is talking about the issue of water. So I'm going to read article number 27 under the subheading, the issue of water, from the chapter 1. So article 27, please. You can read with me if you have a hard copy or a soft copy. Other indicators of the present situation have to do with the depletion of natural resources. We all know that it is not possible to sustain the present level of consumption in developed countries and wealthier sectors of society where the habit of wasting and discarding has reached unprecedented levels. The explanation of the exploitation of the planet has already exceeded acceptable limits, and we still have not solved the problem of poverty. And he continues in the paragraph 28. Fresh drinking water is an issue of primary importance, since it is indispensable for human life and for supporting terrestrial and aquatic ecosystems. Sources of fresh water are necessary for health care, agriculture, and industry. Water supplies used to be relatively constant, but now in many places demand exceeds the sustainable supply, with the dramatic consequences in the short and long term. Large cities dependent on significant supplies of water have experienced periods of shortage, and at critical moments these have not always been administered with sufficient oversights and impartiality. Water poverty especially affects Africa, where large sectors of the population have no access to safe drinking water or experience droughts which impede agricultural production. Some countries have areas in water, while others endure drastic scarcity. Yes, some places abundance of water, some places they endure drastic scarcity. So water is an important element, and in many places there is water shortage. This phenomenon, Pope is using a special phrase called water poverty. Water poverty. So water poverty exists in Africa, India, some parts of Asia. So I think this water has to be preserved. This water is in limited supply. There was abundance of water some 20, 30 years ago. And in India, those rivers like Brahmaputra, Ganga, Yamuna, Saraswati, in the north and western section, Ravi, Sutlej, and Indus River, Jhelum, Chenab, Guru, all these rivers are dying. The flow of water is much less. Even in southern India, all the southern Indian rivers originate from western Ghats and they flow to the east, like Krishna, Godavari, Tungabhadra, Kaveri, all of them. It's unbelievable. The rivers were full of water some 20, 30 years back, but today it's all finished. It's all finished. Only 15% of the flow remains. So, the enormous amount of people mushrooming on the subcontinent, how are we going to solve the issue of water? It's very difficult. So Pope Francis has expressed a great concern for this important natural resource. This resource, the water is pure. Pope Francis called it pure. Look at that. This water is so beautiful, and I think we need to listen to Pope Francis. Please read article number 27 to 31 under the subheading called Issue of Water from the Laudato Si, the Pope's encyclical on ecology and environment. And thank you. God bless. Here is some water for you.